In your estimation, is the great resource, the use to the great resource for the cartels came from drug smuggling. Now then, it sounds like human smuggling probably eclipses that, and drug smuggling is the secondary revenue producer. What is your opinion of that?
Well, I think it's both. Like I said, through intel that we acquire, we catch different individuals in these areas, and that's where the Border Patrol has received information, and we know that a lot of these individuals, they run the drug smuggling and the people smuggling. So yeah, the drugs are the ones that are making most of the money.
The next question is not intended to be tricky. I'm going to come over to you, Sheriff, but it's intended to instead, I think, reflect the culture that ties the hands of our Border Patrol agents. I have sat out there on the border in the night. I think that our agents could and would do the deal, but I think people above them give them policies that are like the catch and release policies. So again, these are not very easy questions. You can dodge it if you want to. I don't. But so I read somewhere that approximately 1,300 Border Patrol agents in Cochise County, more or less.
That's correct.
That's correct.
We have 1,300 Border Patrol agents.
Well, I didn't get to my question yet.
Oh. I was clarifying
you were
for
going to take the easy road. I'm not going to let you do that. Excuse me. If you had 1,300 people under your command, could you secure the border in Cochise County?
Yes.
All right. So just to repeat what we did, because you're getting counsel there. It's good. It's trying to protect us all. I probably need counsel at this stage myself. But what I ask is if he could secure the border with 1,300 people, and he says yes. Now, I tend to agree that and it's not your people, again, it's the process and it's the system. If you had your 1,300 people and we turned you loose and said secure the border, I think you could. I don't know that the process, I don't know that the system is ever going to let you do it. And so many times I say the only solution is to take the resources and let them work for local elected law officials. Right now, local citizens have no recourse at all. They get frustrated, they get angry, they speak to people like us, they get us stirred up, we come out and we make y'all angry. And it's because nobody is accountable. And I sincerely believe, because again, I've been on the border with the agents out there with their boots on the ground, and I know the heart they have to do, and they talk the same way that you talk here today. And so the great appreciation and great love I have for those agents is dispelled because the system is plain keeping it from working. And so always I just say that if a local sheriff had the responsibility and he had your resources, he could do it, and if he didn't, they could unelect him. But right now the system cannot respond, and so somewhere we have to, a solution has to reach that level. A couple more questions on process, Mr. Delqueto. So I've heard, I don't know if it's just scuttlebutt or whatever, that if people are headed south, if the footprints are headed south with somebody that's created a crime, that they just don't pursue them because they're headed south and they're probably going to get there before we get them. That's something we hear a lot in New Mexico. Maybe it's true, maybe it's not. Maybe it's just those guys over in El Paso, you know.
No, I can't testify to that one. I can tell you that here, I myself, I worked the field, and I have followed footprints all the way to south.
Okay.
Some of the issues that we have is we don't know how many are in that footprint.
Yeah.
So what you do is you chase a group, whether it be headed north or be headed south, and these individuals walk in a line. So if you can count 5 footprints, you would say 5 to 10 people. I remember chasing a group where I counted 15 footprints, and I called back and I said, we have 20 plus. We continued chasing this group, and when we finally apprehended it, it was a group of 60 people. So when you're saying 20 plus, 60, that's a big difference between 20 plus. Most people think 20 plus and it's 23, 24 people. In this instance, it was 60 individuals. And that's a huge deal. To touch back on having more agents, and Mr. Daniel said that he can control it with 1,300 agents. A lot of the thing is some of these agents are put in VCO positions, so they need to take care of the vehicles. A lot of these agents are put in processing. They need to process. We have different agents that are detailed to different positions. I will state down in Cochise County There's agents that before we used to work different areas of the border. I understand the ranchers' concerns. I understand that there's the ranchers that need more agents in their area. So what that has caused, it has caused a lot of the agents to not work certain areas, and you have some agents bunched up near the ranchers. So now what has happened is you've left other areas more porous. It was just recently in the news in Cochise County alone, 2 vehicles came through. We never apprehended those vehicles. We don't know what was in those vehicles. We don't know where those vehicles are. And at that point, it was limited resources that were available in that area. The majority of these agents were stationed over near the ranchers.
Okay. I've just got one follow-up to that, and I'll pitch it back to you, but if you go to a second round, I obviously have a couple more questions here, but so the idea has also been pitched out in New Mexico, and local sheriffs have said it's true. I don't know that it's true, but the idea that the Border Patrol just doesn't seek out or prosecute or hold people with less than a certain amount of drugs, and that number usually varies somewhere between 120, 150 pounds, maybe more. Is that a thing that you find in y'all's directives, or is that something you don't want to comment on? And again, feel free not to comment. I'm not trying to do anything to your career.
Well, I've been doing this for quite some time, so
Okay.
I think my career in moving up in the Border Patrol is pretty much shot
I think
already.
we're both stuck
I
at the same
appreciate it,
level.
Congressman. I appreciate you putting the nail in the coffin on this one.
No sweat. We've got really good positions there in Washington.
There is many times that we do arrest individuals, and we do call the prosecutor, and the prosecutor says it fails to meet prosecution guidelines.
Okay.
I will say that.
All right. Madam Chairman, thank you very much. I appreciate this very good information. I yield back.